10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is February 16th, and we are going to get started here with some really cool news from Hani Abu. So those of you who might know, Hani Abu is a really active Ethereum community member in like ETH Finance and sometimes in the Rocket Pool Discord. Well, he is the person maintaining and working with a lot of client diversity stuff, and he works on the clientdiversity.org website. So he had this update today that was really exciting, and he said client diversity was updated with the latest Lido Q4 data from supermajority.info. This brought Geth dominance down from 72% to 69%. However, due to low network coverage, the lower Geth dominance goes, the less accurate it is. How should I proceed? And he says details and replies. It says keep it as it is with a warning, assume unknown equals Geth, and see the results. So I chose keep it as it is with a warning, but then he kind of explains the results here. He says I can get the data as it is with the additional warning similar to this, and then there's a link to the warning. And then he says I can change the data to assume an additional 6% has the same distribution as reported values to represent solo stakers, and assume the remaining unknown is Geth. He said if you have any other ideas, I'm all ears, just trying to make it the best out of what we have until there's more reliable data. So then people are kind of giving advice on what to do, but the charts look fantastic. Like, in all honesty, I know that we shouldn't be resting until we know for sure that this is an issue that's kind of behind us, and we shouldn't rest until basically the execution client side looks kind of like what the consensus client side looks like over here, like with Prism being at 39% or 38%, Lighthouse 33%, Teku 19%, Nimbus 9%, Lodestar 1%. So Geth at the moment is 69%. Of course, the supermajority number is 66%. So it's very, it's going to hopefully go down soon. And that, would be absolutely fantastic if it went down to below 66%, because it means that the risk of a bug being introduced into Geth and forking the chain goes down a lot. Of course, we'll have finalization issues until Geth comes back if it was to get a bug and we're below 66%. Right now, according to the numbers, we're still at the point where you would get a supermajority bug, which would split the chain and lead to very, very bad things. But I'm hoping that with Coinbase, if they switch their 15% from Geth to Bisu, for example, then Bisu would go to 30%, Geth would go down to 55%, and that would be much, much healthier. Ideally, we can get all of them down to below 33%, and that would be the best, because if there was a bug in any of the clients, it wouldn't even impact finality, which is of course what we want. So here, we've got Eragon on 2%. We have Reth, the new client that is not really got any market penetration yet, but hopefully, in the next year or so, that will take away some market share as well, and we will be, sitting really comfortably with the execution client distribution, looking very much like the consensus client distribution instead of what it looks like at the moment, and definitely not what it looked like, a few months ago with Geth being around 90% or above 85%. So this is a huge milestone. Well, not quite yet. Once we get below 66%, that'll be a huge milestone. I've been told not to say this, but I can't quite help myself. I think that we are below 66% now. It's just some of the data hasn't been reported accurately, and we don't have the full information. Just as it says here, data provided by supermajority info, updated manually, data may not be 100% accurate, read more. I think there'll be a chunk of people who have already moved to Geth who haven't reported it yet, and hopefully, we're already below 66%. However, we've got to keep fighting this fight until we know for sure that Geth is, not only below 66%, but hopefully, down to Prism-like or Lighthouse-like numbers. That would be really, really amazing. Okay, I'm going to start today's episode with some sad Rocket Pool news. So, about just over a month ago, we got one of our community members came into support asking for help, saying that this person was the widow of a node operator with Rocket Pool, and the husband passed away, and she needed help and she didn't know what to do. She said, I know how common scammers are when it comes to the crypto world, so I've hesitated seeking out the help that I need, but I've let it sit too long and now it's causing me anxiety. He had his toe dipped in a lot of things, rocket pool being one of them. The thing is, I don't know enough to comprehend what that entails, which also means I don't even know what questions I should be asking. Help. Signed an overwhelmed nerd's widow. So this kind of really got the whole community kind of talking about what to do if you die, basically, right? Like, a whole bunch of people who are watching Rocket Fuel right now are node operators. I myself am a node operator, and if the worst was to happen, do your loved ones know what to do with your crypto? Like, having one validator is still tens of thousands of dollars, like nearly $20,000, right? For Rocket, if you have a 8 ETH mini pool, that's nearly $20,000. Like, do your loved ones know how to get that money if the worst was to happen to you? Like, how many people know about it? And there's a lot of questions, about like, how many people should you tell before it becomes a security issue, like, OPSEC stuff. And I think this was really getting a lot of people to kind of question their crypto holdings, like, not whether they should hold crypto or not, but like how they should hold them, and whether they should have contingency plans, and whether they should have people knowing about it, or details written down on what to do if the worst was to happen. And yeah, we finally got some resolution to this story yesterday from Patches saying, update on the node operator who passed away. His wife managed to finalize the mini pool, claim the Merkle rewards, and withdraw the full RPL stake to the withdrawal address today. And that was progress. So this was really wonderful to see that, the person's widow was able to get control of the validator, get control of the crypto that was on the validator. And now, she has a choice. Like, it's up to her whether she wants to hold it, sell it, wait to get, permission if there's any kind of a will or any kind of estate stuff going on or whatever. But the fact that she came to the Rocket Pool Discord and had someone amazing like Patches who was able to help her, and other people who helped her as well, like, it was really wonderful that she was able to reclaim her crypto and get control of what she needed. So this was a really, really positive story, and like really a lovely ending to like such a heartbreaking story. The details were really saddening, like really, really saddening. I remember when she first came into Discord, like a whole bunch of us were kind of talking about it for a few days, just about how sad the situation was. And I didn't really want to cover it on the show at the time because even though I feel like it's a valuable message, like, I didn't want to say these words until we had some clarity on the situation, and also there was a little bit more distance, I guess, from the situation. So it's really good to reflect on this whole situation. And I think the main takeaway from this is that we should make it clear to our loved ones, like, where we have our crypto, what we're doing with our crypto. And there's also that there are amazing people in this community who we can kind of rely on, which I know is kind of like the opposite of the crypto, like, don't trust anyone kind of values. But I really feel like the Rocket Pool community has like amazing people in it, like Patches, like Superfizz, like others, like, who have stepped up in these situations where people have needed help. Like, the reason why I mentioned those two is my wife knows to contact those two if anything happens to me. So yeah, but I think that we should all be aware that this is possible, and that like we need to have a plan in place that will help the people who we love the most if the worst was to happen. Like, know where the private keys are, know what like node setup looks like, where the machine is, all that kind of stuff. I think as much as it might, like, lead to a conversation where your partner's eyes are glazing over and they're not paying attention, like, just being aware of those very simple things could potentially save thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars from not being lost. Okay, next we got this update. So in the events DAO bot command, like Rocket Watch bot, posted this transaction that happened. And we talked in yesterday's episode about how the team's funding payment was approved, and it was done via the snapshot vote, and now that amount has been taken out from the treasury and it has gone to the team. So here we have this update saying, 49,420 RPL from the treasury was sent to Rocket Pool Oracle DAO Rewards Wallet 1. So this happened yesterday. So congrats to the team for getting paid. So good stuff. That's really nice to see that happened. That happened there. Okay, a couple of people had, we're going to talk just for a couple of minutes about the Starknet airdrop and what about some of the issues that were happening with there. So yesterday there was this talk about, the Starknet update, and there were being some holes in the list of validators and people's nodes that they had were included and not included in the airdrop list. So Jasper had this update yesterday saying that Val is working on this, and everybody should give Val major thanks for the solid work he's doing in gathering all the information. So this was the comment that Jasper was replying to. Meg was saying Rocket Pool team or someone should do a pull request with all the node operator addresses. It could be helpful for future airdrops, and maybe someone can get a grant for this, Jasper, or just tell for that node operator to use this. So yeah, Val is already working on that. So people have then said thank you to Val for that. Of course, this airdrop is proving quite controversial, and it seems like people are really still kind of like arguing over how good an airdrop it was in terms of its distribution. So here, Metanol was talking about how Rocket Pool node operators wouldn't be node operators if it wasn't for our ETH holders. So our ETH holders should be getting some kind of airdrop as well, not just people who are node operators. And then Val responded by saying, it's up to them to literally, they can choose however they want to do it, and they can pick, they can pick whatever criteria they want. And here, Metanol was saying, bro, he's like kind of saying the Starknet saying, strangely, this protocol have this, bro, we are node operators, we run this thing. Stakers are just some losers that try to get incentives over us mindset, which is indeed toxic and ignorant. So basically saying that Rocket Pool, node operators have this superiority complex, maybe. But there was an interesting discussion that kind of went back and forth. It says they've been provided with a list of RETH stakers at the time with the amount of RETH staked and its ETH value. They can do as they wish. They define the definition, not you and I. So basically, the people at Starknet were given a list of people who had purchased RETH, and there was a snapshot taken at the time of the merge with all the wallets that contained RETH and all the amounts of RETH that they had in there. So if it turns out that these people are due an airdrop, then that's up to Starknet to decide. And I think we should have clarity in the next couple of days, maybe over the weekend, about what's going on, or maybe by Monday actually, about what's going to happen with this airdrop and how people are going to be able to get it and what they'll be able to do with it. So this discussion, I think, is going to carry on going. Like even like Anthony Sassano has been giving coverage about some of the criticisms of this airdrop. And even on today's Bankless Weekly roll-up, it got some criticisms as well. But there's definitely, I think, other protocols should look and learn some of the lessons from Starknet here about how to do a slightly better airdrop going forward. Okay, next we got some interesting news here from Vaka. So as you know, Vaka is the treasurer of the pDAO, and as he was trying to balance the books, he saw that there was something wrong. So he says, I was expecting 9,031.99 RPL for the IMC and 3,703.12 RPL for the GMC. So I went back to see if I was missing anything. It turns out we also missed the last rewards allocation upwards from 24.1% to 25.2% for the pDAO. This would have affected both the current period and the last one. We can't fix this retroactively as the rewards are already sent to the ODAO, but we could increase the next update to compensate. Not sure if this would need any kind of Waldorf. So he says, that on November 23rd, they got 24.1%, and this was good. On December 12th, December 21st, they got 24.1%, and this was right. It says on January 18th, they were supposed to get 25.2%, but they actually got 24.1%, which means they're missing 819 RPL. And then on February 15th, they're supposed to get 25.2% as well, but instead just got 24.1%. Again, this time missing 822 RPL. So the pDAO is a little bit short on RPL, and money was given to the ODAO that shouldn't have been. So Vaka says we could fix this by updating the allocation to 27.39% instead of 26.3% for the next 2 periods, following the scheduled updates afterwards. Next update would be to 27.4%. He says, or you could just go straight to 24% for the next period, and that would end up in donating 17.19 RPL to the pDAO from the ODAO's rewards. And Val says, I like the second option. It's easy and the error is less than 1 RPL per ODAO seat. I'm going to float it in the ODAO chat now. I dig the rough math of that would be exact match if supply wasn't increasing. The numbers seem ballpark reasonable. And then Valdov says, if the ODAO is cool with it and the pDAO ends up trivially ahead, I see little reason to complicate math this further. So I think that'll be a nice little resolution to potentially the pDAO ending up with 17 RPL more than it technically deserves. But I think that's the best way forward. I agree with Val on that. Okay, next we've got some GMC news here. So Shifrin put out these couple of tweets about some payments that went out from the GMC yesterday. So he says the GMC set a record for the most payout transfers to applicants in a single month back in August, with 39 transactions attributable to the removal of the retro cap. This month the GMC surpassed that figure with a total of 57 transfers. And then there's a link to the payments. As Shifrin said, some notable transfers include the Denver Liftoff Conference received nearly 800 RPL. 7 members were paid for their rapid research submissions. They got a total of 258 RPL. The Rocket Pool University was paid 300 RPL, and 25 committee members were paid for executing transactions in 2023. So that was a really nice update from Shifrin. Thank you, Shifrin, for sharing that. Again, we have another GMC update here, and this is kind of related to the GMC, like with the bounty work. So Long for Wisdom here says, I'm happy to announce that version 1 of the bounty board can now be considered functional and functionally complete. It's been forked to the GMC GitHub and is now hosted on rocketpoolbountyboard.com. I'll be around to maintain it, fix any issues that arise, and respond to any feedback from you all. Feel free to link it around the community if anyone expresses interest in bounty work. At this stage, I would not recommend pushing it too hard outside of the community. There's still some items that would be good to compete before it's shared more widely, so we can get the maximum impact. And this is process work, and he gives an example, like information about that. And then with some outstanding items about like incentives for RPIPs, bounty definition reviews, bounty solicitations and marketing. And then there was some dropped items as well around informational RPIPs. And says, getting involved, my work on this is starting to reach wrap-up phase. There are 2 huge ways you can help make it a success in a way that I can't manage it on my own. This is propose bounties, go on, put bounties to the GMC, and then also marketing as well. So the question was like, who owns the domain, and it's Shifrin who owns the domain. He says, I'm happy to transfer it to some sort of shared access based on what others advise. Right now, the GMC GitHub organization's administrative privileges are shared between Shifrin, Joe, and Dondo. So there's some information there as well. So we've already talked about this on Rocket Fuel like a few times before, but let's just have another quick look at it right now. It's got the 12 open bounties on the GMC that we're willing to fund right now, and it's got information about like a quick look at what the bounty is and how much money is available for it, and like a link to get the whole details. There's a filtering service on the left. There's even like FAQs and stuff that you can click to with other pages that have some common questions. Then there's news as well, like what's been updated and what's going on with the whole project. So this is a really nice update here from Long for Wisdom. So thank you for that, and it's looking really good. So good stuff. Okay, next we've got a couple more client updates as clients are getting ready for Dencun. So on mainnet, it's going to be here in like 4 weeks time potentially. We're going to talk about that at the end. But here we have an update from Nethermind. So they are up to version 1.25.4. And it says, warning, this release is mandatory upgrade for all node operating on the Ethereum mainnet and Gnosis. Please update your nodes to this version to ensure correct node functionality. And then it says that this will help you get to Dencun hard fork. We also have another update here from Teku, and this is version 24.2.0. And there's just letting you know as well that this is getting you ready for Dencun, but it's also saying that this will require 50 gigabytes extra storage for blobs for mainnet and 35 gigabytes if you're using a Gnosis chain. But theoretically, blob storage requirements go up to 100 gigabytes, could go up to 100 gigabytes. This extra storage will not grow above this limit over time, because of course blobs will expire every 18 days. So that is we're going to be getting more and more of these updates as well in the coming days. So I'll let you know as we get these updates. And of course, we can expect a couple of versions of the smart node stack to be released between now and the Dencun hard fork. Okay, we covered Thomas's node operation yesterday, and we kind of left it with Thomas having gotten it back up and saying that he got his beacon chain website all set up properly. However, sadly yesterday, Waldorf replied by saying that your node is down again, and he says it should be running through his fallback now while the primary is resyncing, but it looks like there's some issues there, and he says maybe you should go onto the rescue node because it's clear that you're having some issues. And then Thomas says, I just tried to switch to it, but it looks like he was getting rate limited because there's over 1,000 validators on his node, of course. Yeah, that's not looking good. And Patches says you're getting rate limited by your ETH1 client. This won't impact the rescue node functionality though. It says Thomas's size bumps up the metrics. So as you can see, it's kind of been gliding at like 100 validators for the whole day, and then it went up to like nearly more than 1,300. So on Nimbus, it was 1,277. So Patches was saying that I see that you are testing through the rescue node. So yeah, I think Thomas finished by saying the GMC will be getting a nice donation soon. So that's nice that Thomas will be paying the GMC some money just as a way of saying thanks for all the help. But Waldorf posts this meme, look at me, Thomas, I'm the beacon chain now. Saying that to Patches because Patches is the one running it. So it's really cool. So I'm glad that Thomas hopefully will be up and running soon for his own sake, because he's losing a whole lot of ETH every day that he's down. Okay, this next update here is from War, and War shares a GIF saying it's alive, and then there's a link to the beacon chain website with the Holesky validator and information. So let's have a look at that and see what we're looking at. So this deposit was made 1 hour 21 minutes ago, and it'll take around 16 to 24 hours until it's processed by the beacon chain. So what's going on over here? Why is War so excited about this? Well, it turns out that this is the new Rocket Phone validator. So War, of course, I showed you guys this last year. He's using like a form of light clients, I think, to have a validator running on a phone. And it looks like he's got a new version of it running that will now, he's testing on Holesky to see how it's working. So he's he says that this is the new validator, but I had to go native mode. Docker was not playing nice on Ubuntu 22, so he's got some details there of it working on his phone. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more details about this, and maybe we'll get some in Monday's episode as the validator goes live. It should be pretty cool to see what Woe is up to with that. Okay, next we've got this DeFi update from Flat Money. And here Flat Money are saying, do you love RETH plus high APYs? Then it's time to boost RETH liquidity and start earning juicy yields on Base. So if you have RETH on Base, now you can use Flat Money with Beefy, Aura, and Balancer. And these are IMC incentivized boosted rewards. And you can get things like 12.3%, between 10 and 26%, or 11% on your RETH. And then Flat Money here go on to say, through our work with the Rocket Pool Incentive Management Committee, we're providing more ways to earn on RETH and preparing for Flat Money, the first decentralized delta neutral flat coin backed by RETH and built on Base. So learn more. So I don't exactly know how flat coins work, which is actually like something that I should fix because they've been getting quite a little bit of hype recently, like a tiny little bit of hype. But if I find out how all that works, I'll definitely let you all know and share that with you. But in the meantime, if you want to earn some yield on your RETH, then this is an option. Of course, please remember DeFi is risky. You could lose what you put in, and me mentioning flat money is not an endorsement of the service. I have never used flat money. I just would covering that just in case you're interested in using it. Okay, next we have this update from Patches, and yesterday he put out a ping for everyone asking for help. He says, if you are the node operator for Node and there's an address, please contact me in the next few hours. I can help you avoid catastrophe. If you know who they are, please contact them ASAP. So Patches put this message in a few different places. He put it on Twitter, he put it on trading, he put it on the ping service, people put it in submissions. They were really trying to get hold of this node operator. This is the node operator who fell victim to the node wallet mnemonic getting compromised, potentially, that we talked about on the show a couple of days ago. So it turns out that the hacker had basically figured out how to get the smart node running with the keys, and was able to steal crypto off the node address. On top of that, sadly, what had happened is they also figured out that these were validators, and they sent them to the exit queue. And I think what has happened is as they were waiting for it to be exited from the beacon chain and go to the withdrawal address, Patches was trying to get a hold of the node operator to try to do like a flashbot command to flashbot transaction to try to get control of the RPL and the ETH before it reached before the hacker was able to get access to it. But as far as I know, sadly, the person didn't get in touch with Patches in time, and I presume that the hacker now has control of the whole of the validator's ETH and RPL, which is really sad. I know that Patches tried really hard to prevent this from happening, but without knowing who the node operator was, we just weren't able to get them the help that they needed to reclaim control of their crypto. And it's really horrible to lose that much ETH. I think it was 2 validators of ETH and 200 RPL or something like that. I think those are the numbers, or maybe 1 validator. Still, that's $20,000 was gone. So I'm really sorry. Okay, yeah, this was Patches putting the same message in trading as well, and asking for help immediately, but nobody was able to do that. So actually, you can actually look at the address on Rocket Scan here. Let's see what comes up. Yeah, so this is a person from New York, and they now have 0 ETH on their account, and everything was withdrawn and withdrew and was gone. February 16th, the 200 RPL was gone. Let's have a look at the withdrawal address. There is now, there's nothing there now, so it's gone. Sadly, it came in yesterday and then left as well. So it went from the vault to the address yesterday, and then from there it went to this other address. I'm not sure what this address is. So, and from there then they went somewhere else. And I guess you can try to follow the chain along and see where it ended up. But it looks like that was a smart contract. Yeah, that was a contract. So maybe there's a way of following this trail and seeing where it ends up. But I'm not really a sleuth chain analysis expert. So that's a really sad story as well. So today's episode definitely got bookended with a couple of sad stories. Oh, this one actually looks like it has 9,000 RPL in it, and I don't know, that might be an exchange wallet actually. It looks like it's an exchange wallet, I think. Yeah, it looks like an exchange wallet. It's a real shame. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to finish today's episode with this update from Tim Baiko here, and they had the All Core Devs execution client meeting yesterday, and that finished, and they said that they're getting ready now to give out the proper announcement on the week of February 26th, which is the week, of course, of ETH Denver, of the official announcement of the fork. So far, the information that we had was, a tentative announcement, I guess, or it was just kind of like a placeholder, just to let you know when it was going to happen. But if anything went wrong, of course, you'd be able to change the date. But it looks like at that point, then things are going to get finalized, and that's where we're going to end up. So I'm going to end today's episode on that note. Thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I'm sorry there were a couple of sad stories in today's episode, but hopefully, it can be a learning experience for all of us. And I hope you all have lovely weekends, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.